Right now, live at 5.
Did you get an at-home COVID test? What you need to know about the results.
Plus, in response to a staffing shortage, a free CNA training program is paying off in Minnesota. And we're hearing from the vice president as the Biden administration marks 1 year in office.
There's more work to be done. There's no doubt about that.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Briggs LaSavage. Lines are out the door for COVID testing across the country. With extended wait times and slowed lab results, many people have turned to the more convenient at-home tests for quick results.
CBS3's Quinn Gorham explains how reliable those tests really are and what you need to know when using them.
They're quick, they're convenient, and you can pick them up at your local pharmacy. Rapid at-home COVID tests are a huge achievement of modern medicine, but when that test comes back negative, how sure can you be you're getting an accurate result? At-home tests are what's known as antigen tests. The tests detect COVID-19 antigens present in a swab sample. Antigens are the substances within viruses that create your body's immune response. When your body detects antigens, your immune system kicks into gear to produce antibodies. These tests contain pre-made antibodies that produce a dye when they latch onto antigens. If the dye is produced, a thin blue line appears on the test indicating a positive result. According to Dan Suler with Grand Itasca Hospital, a positive test result is likely accurate, but a negative result isn't as clear-cut.
A positive result on an antigen test at home, you have COVID. A negative test is reassuring, but again, what we're recommending in clinic is if you have a negative test and you're still having symptoms, you should retest 3 to 5 days later.
Now, Suler says most of that time, in order to receive that positive result, you need to be symptomatic since your body needs to have enough antigens present to actually detect on a test. If you think you've been exposed to COVID and get a negative antigen test, experts still recommend that you get a PCR test at least 5 days after your exposure.
All right, some important information as more and more people choose the at-home testing option. And experts say as a precaution, you should also check with your employer or school to see what their quarantine and contact tracing guidelines are. Quinn Gorham in studio for us tonight. Thanks, Quinn.
Meanwhile, hundreds of Minnesotans are taking advantage of free certified nursing assistant training. We first reported about this partnership between the state and HeartCert last month. They're using $3.5 million in federal COVID relief funding to pay for students' tuition, textbooks, and exams. The goal, help COVID-related staffing shortages in long-term care facilities and veterans' homes. 500 people are taking part in that effort. State officials say nursing assistants are the 6th highest in-demand job in Minnesota, and they earn about $37,000 a year.
A top Minnesota health leader and a key player throughout the pandemic is retiring. Chris Erisman is the state health department's infectious disease doctor. She plans to step down on February 2nd after 30 years in public health. Along with leading the state's COVID response, she also worked through a measles outbreak, Ebola, H1N1, and the state's response to 9/11. There will be a national search for a new director.
The federal civil rights trial for 3 former Minneapolis police officers began today. Jury selection wrapped up for Jay King, Thomas Lane, and Tao Tao within just the last hour. 18 jurors were chosen, with 12 to deliberate and 6 alternates. The former police officers were with Derek Chauvin during the arrest that led to George Floyd's death. They're all accused of willfully depriving Floyd of his constitutional rights. Last year, Chauvin was convicted of murder by the state and sentenced to 22.5 years in prison. He recently changed his plea to guilty for the federal charges he faces.
The pandemic, gas prices, and food shortages, they're issues on the minds of so many Americans this winter.
CBS3's Washington News Bureau's Ted Fioraliso brought those concerns to Vice President Kamala Harris during a one-on-one interview.
On the first anniversary of the Biden administration, Vice President Kamala Harris is on a media tour highlighting their achievements. But the pandemic rages on, and 400,000 more Americans have died since they've taken office. What do you say to Americans who are counting on you to end this pandemic?
We are all 2 years into this frustrated. None of us want to wear a mask.
In a one-on-one virtual interview with our Washington News Bureau, Vice President Kamala Harris credited the more than 200 million Americans for getting vaccinated. She was optimistic about new treatments and tools, but admitted
There's more work to be done. There's no doubt about that.
the Biden administration tried to get more people vaccinated by requiring large businesses to mandate the shot, but the Supreme Court struck that down last week. I asked the vice president, what's the new plan? She did not directly answer, but did praise businesses requiring vaccinations.
There are employers who don't need to be told what to do. They're taking it in their hands to say what's in the best interest of the safety of the people who work in their workplaces.
And then there's the pinch at the pump. Despite the administration opening the oil reserves at the end of November, this week the price of oil hit its highest since 2014. Adding to that, Americans are dealing with a lot of empty grocery store shelves. What tools does the Biden administration have to address these pocketbook issues?
We got to deal with the supply chain in terms of opening up our ports. It's got to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. What else do we need to do? Bring down the cost of living.
The White House wanted to do that through the Build Back Better Act, but it's essentially dead after West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin said he'd vote no. I asked the vice president what they plan to do now.
Part of what we are committed to doing is saying, let's bring down the cost of childcare.
Even if the White House can get the holdout Democratic senators on board, the Senate is still split 50-50. Vice President Harris would have to cast the tie-breaking vote, which she's already done 15 times. In Washington, I'm Ted Fioraliso.
Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Man, Dave, a lot of us saw some really cold temperatures out there this morning. Kristen, seeing some of the worst of it.
No dog walking this morning.
It was pretty brisk this morning. And of course, Thursday mornings I teach at LSC, teach meteorology. And every student showed up today, so the parking lot was full. And guess who had to tromp across the whole parking lot?
Oh,
and did not wear his hat and gloves because, I'll be up close. You've got to listen to your own advice once in a while. Well, this morning, indeed, up north, we got towards 30 below for Hibbing-Chisholm Airport, International Falls, and Big Fork, and pretty close to 30 below for places like Ely, and Grand Rapids will call that close too. 24 below Moose Lake, 20 below for Hayward, Ashland 16 degrees below zero, 6 to 7 below for our friends in the Upper Peninsula from Ironwood to Watersmeet. It's not going to be quite as cold tomorrow, but it will be chilly. And so now even the UP is facing a wind chill advisory tonight. Everybody gets one until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Actual air temps this time could go 15 to 20 below. Feels like temperatures could be in the 30 below range. So there's our short-term forecast. Duluth Superior, for example, 15 below. But with a low coming in from the west, the clouds will go up. So will temperatures. 15 above tomorrow afternoon. And snow chances become possible as well. Late snow coming in tomorrow afternoon and evening. How much will we get? I think just light stuff, but I'll give you a specific chart in just a couple more minutes.
All right, thank you, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, public health departments are coming together to thank those who have been on the front lines during the pandemic. How you can participate coming up in City by City.
You're watching CBS3 Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Briggs LaSavage, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson. On Live, Local, CBS3. CBS3 News is brought to you by Ralph Eye Care Specialists.
Let A1 Movers help bridge the gap from your old house to your new home. We have the tools for all of your relocating needs. Big or small, we move them all. Whether you're moving across town or across the country, we help get you where you need to go as safely and efficiently as possible. A1 Movers specializes in making hard work easier, saving you time and your back. To schedule your move, call or visit a1movers.org today. Don't fight your car battery this winter. You need a battery you can trust. You need an Interstate battery. Outrageously dependable. You'll be back on the road in no time. Interstate Battery, the one stop for all your battery needs.
Hi, folks. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. Call, check your zip code, see if you're eligible, and get what you deserve. Call now.
Call 1-800-476-5600. That's 1-800-476-5600 now.
I'm Nora O'Donnell in our nation's capital. We're here at the White House with the President of the United States.
Thanks for having me.
Our exclusive access to the presidential platform. We will witness yet another moment in history.
The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell from Washington, D.C.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park tonight as the cold temps outside are doing their best to freeze up the harbor. But ice cover on the Big Lake has been low this season. Dave will be in with your full forecast in just a few minutes. But first, Briggs has a look around the region.
Thanks, Kristen. A free ice fishing experience for those in McGregor. And WisDOT is looking for feedback as they plan for the next 30 years. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We start things off across the Arrowhead region tonight, where local health agencies are asking everyone to say thank you to frontline workers. 11 county and tribal public health departments are partnering for the Project Blue Light. The project honors those who have been working on the front lines throughout the pandemic. Starting Monday, businesses and individuals are asked to turn on blue lights as a show of support and thanks. Those participating are asked to share their light on social media with the hashtag #ThankYouWithBlue. Next up, we head to McGregor with a chance for everyone to get out ice fishing this winter. The McGregor Lions Club have once again put on their senior fish house out on Big Sandy Lake. The ice house is available for those who are 62 and older or those who have disabilities. The house is heated and holes are drilled. They just want people to get out and enjoy the fishing. Reservations are required. And we wrap up in Wisconsin tonight, where the state wants your input on the future of transportation. WisDOT has been researching for their Connect 2050 plan since 2020, and there are just a few days left to comment on the first draft. Connect 2050 hopes to provide the vision and goals that will guide statewide transportation systems over the next 30 years. The comment period closes on Monday. We'll have a link to that and more on all of these stories on our website. If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, Governor Tim Walz is proposing some of the state's surplus should go right back to the citizens. How much you could see coming up.
Well, how cold did we see at Duluth Airport this morning? 19 below. Just a degree off my prediction at 20 below. Could be very cold again tomorrow, about 15 below or so. Then temperatures will moderate come Friday afternoon, but will that be a trend or just a blip? I'll show you with the 7-day forecast right after our break.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
I'm Carrie Harris, owner of Diabetic and Comfort Shoes. We have been in business in the Northland, helping you with your everyday foot problems stemming from diabetes to plantar fasciitis for the past 17 years. Stop in and see the complete line of men's and women's shoes, from SAS to Allegria to Vionic, for those millions of people battling plantar fasciitis. And we still have a great selection of comfortable shoes for diabetics, Medicare and Minnesota healthcare approved. Remember, no foot problem is too big or too small. We'll find the way to your soul.
Hi, Russell Nicolay, Nicolay Law Office. If you've been seriously injured, we can help. For the last 14 years, my office has been helping folks like you and holding insurance companies accountable. My award-winning legal team can help you and your family. Remember, if you've been injured, get Nicolay. We win or you don't pay.
Just follow me. I'll lead the way.
There's always something new under the sun.
Oh, you just put me in a good mood.
CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Stay connected to live local CBS3. Check out our exclusive content on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our mobile app, and join the conversation on today's big stories. Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Let's talk about our weather highlights, headlines, and what's coming our way. And tonight, now coming our way again, is a wind chill advisory. Instead of just Minnesota and Wisconsin, this time everybody gets it. It even spills into the UP. But then temperatures will moderate Friday afternoon and evening when light snow arrives. And we'll talk about how light means here in just a bit. Come the weekend, a new high-pressure cell from Canada comes to call, but this time it'll be cool rather than cold. Sure, we'll still go below zero, but not as drastically. And, of course, we'll show you that with the 7-day as well. But right now, we've got to show you the current conditions from Duluth International, where we're riding that weather fence. Is it cold? Is it mild? It's zero. It's neutral. And the sky is clear. So, yeah, we're going back towards the cold side as the night goes on. About 15 to 20 below for many towns this time around, maybe 10 to 20 below if we throw in Wisconsin and the UP. But, of course, on top of it, with the wind coming in, right now westerly at 5, but eventually picking up towards 20 miles per hour, we get the wind chill factor back again. Wind chill at the moment, in case you're interested, is 10 below. Not enough to drive an advisory, but that indeed is coming in just a couple hours. Relative humidity, that's 52%. Current temperatures run from 2 below at the moment in International Falls to 3 below in Hibbing, 4 below for Evelyn and the Quad Cities, but 3 above Moose Lake, 3 above for our friends over towards Port Wing, 2 above down towards Solon Springs, 2 above Hayward, 3 above Ashland, and 1 below Ironwood. Again, the range of low temps overnight tonight, about 10 to 20 below actual air temps. Wind chill factor, bringing in a wind chill advisory for everybody, means it'll remove heat from your exposed skin as if it were about 30 below. So we have to bundle up. Don't be like me this morning and leave your hat and gloves behind because you're expecting a close parking spot. You may have to travel. And that's why we have to be careful. Well, right now around the area, the Doppler Live local map here is showing higher pressure, keeping the clouds at bay for Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the UP. They did try to pop up earlier today, but the high is squashing them down. But again, that could change tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow may start on the sunnier side, but with our high pressure moving to the south and to the east and lower pressure coming in from the west, clouds go up and snow chances go up too. About 60% chance tomorrow afternoon and evening for light snow. And so light snow this time around, I think, means about 1 to 3 inches for most of our towns. Closer to the 1 maybe for Wisconsin and Michigan, closer to the 3 for Minnesota. And then as things change, our high pressure, like we mentioned, goes away, and the low pressure system comes in for some Friday night snow, like we mentioned, but even that goes to the east, and another cell of high pressure comes in from Canada for the weekend. It'll be at least partly sunny and cool rather than bitterly cold. So we fire up the forecast and see that tonight's Minnesota low temps, the actual air temps, indeed are 10 to 20 below, clear to partly cloudy sky. Wisconsin, Michigan, about 13 to 20 below. We'll call it 10 below in some locations just to make it sound a little bit better. Then tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, high temps in the afternoon around 15 above. Evening snow possible, as we mentioned. Minnesotans could go from 15 to 20 above with evening snow possible, but it steps back as early as Saturday when the high drops to 10. And then Sunday, high of 7 with an overnight low of 10 below. And that leads us into the rest of the week there. Wonderful anchors that I work with. That's my new nickname for you. WAWW. Wonderful anchors I work with. It gets brisk again next week. Morning lows in the 15 to 20 below range once again. Daytime highs only in the single digits through Wednesday, but there is a hint of a warm-up coming for next Thursday. Can't tell right now if it'll stick or not, but we can hope.
Yeah, we sure can. I mean, the sunshine honestly makes a huge difference when it's bitterly cold out. So we can lean on that a little bit.
And that 18 will feel like 80.
Yeah.
I think that way too, Brace.
Yeah.
Yep.
T-shirt weather.
Thank you, Dave.
The governor wants to get some of the state's nearly $8 billion surplus back into the hands of Minnesotans. Governor Tim Walz visited a Twin Cities Technical College today while talking about his Move Minnesota Forward budget. It earmarks $700 million in direct payments of up to $350. 2.7 million Minnesota households would qualify. He also wants to give frontline workers hero pay for their efforts during the pandemic while cutting taxes for families, especially around child care costs.
COVID was incredibly hard, and it put financial and other hardships on families. One of the things that we're going to propose is we want to get checks out to people right away and put them in their hands. We'll send those checks out, and I would encourage the legislature to do so as quickly as possible.
Walz's proposal includes money for workforce development, expanding educational opportunities, increasing broadband access statewide, and support for farmers and livestock producers. It needs legislative approval in order to move forward.
A lifelong Duluthian is running for the St. Louis County Board. Annie Harla announced her campaign for the board's District 1 seat today. That covers the Park Point, Hillside, Chester Bowl, and Duluth Heights neighborhoods. Harla previously served on the Duluth School Board and now co-owns a video production company. If elected, she wants to help people recover both from the pandemic and ongoing mental health struggles.
Then I also am looking at opportunity. How are we looking at expanding our economic opportunities so that we have a local, national, and global presence as a county? And then how do we maintain core services? How are our roads and bridges continuing to stay strong? And how do we keep people connected in our public health system?
Frank Jewell currently holds the District 1 seat, but he recently announced he's not running again. No other candidates have entered the race yet. That seat will be on the November ballot.
It's that time of the show where we get to talk about adoptable pets, and today's pet comes to us from Range Regional Animal Rescue in Hibbing.
A personal favorite of mine. This is Rivers. She is a 7-month-old husky mix who's full of energy. Of course, she's a husky. She's got to be. Our friends at the shelter tell us she's a big goofball who loves to play, play, play. She also loves people and other dogs, but cats aren't really her thing. She's a fan of all toys, too, and she's looking, of course, for an active and loving family. Probably emphasis on the active.
Yes. I mean, the look on her face when she had that toy right there, that is pure joy if I've ever seen it.
Oh, such a happy girl.
So sweet. Well, if you would like to set up an appointment to adopt Rivers, you can call the number on your screen.
Hold on, Kristen, I'm writing it down. We'll have to go back to that so I can give him a call. So cute.
Well, still to come, around the world in just 5 months. Details on one young woman's record-setting flight after the break.
Transform your home with Menard's huge selection of lighting. From modern to rustic, you're sure to find your style with over 7,000 lights. The elegant Josca collection is available in 2 finishes. The Josca 3-light Island Light is $98.99 on sale. Or add a rustic look to your bathroom with the B 3-light Vanity Light. The galvanized and whitewashed finish is the perfect combination. Grab one for $114.99 at Menard's.
Save big money at Menard's. Hi, folks. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. Call, check your zip code, see if you're eligible, and get what you deserve. Call now.
Call 1-800-476-5600. That's 1-800-476-5600 now.
My case was very complex, and I knew that with Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben, I had picked the right advocate. I had complete confidence in Allie Sieben, my attorney. She was there with me, helping me through every step of the way. I would 100% recommend Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben to someone who has had an accident or a personal injury. They were my superheroes.
Call Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben or visit us at schwebel.com for a free consultation.
At Humana, we believe your health care should evolve with you. And part of that evolution means choosing the right Medicare plan for you. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you are covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits, but you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums and still not get prescription drug coverage. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. You get all this coverage for as low as a $0 monthly plan premium in many areas. Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals and telehealth coverage with a $0 copay. So call or go online today and get your free decision guide. Discover how an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan could save you money. Humana, a more human way to health care.
For you to learn something new every evening, we need to write something new. And that's why winning the 2021 Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing makes us smile. The CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.
After a 5-month journey, one European teen is returning home as a world record holder.
Meet the youngest woman to fly around the world solo. Tina Kraus reports from London.
It was a picture-perfect touchdown in Belgium as Zara Rutherford landed her Shark ultralight plane with family and friends cheering her on.
I wasn't expecting so many people. It's really nice seeing so many friendly faces.
The 19-year-old Belgian-British teen earned a spot in the record books as the youngest woman to fly around the globe all by herself.
It's just really crazy. I haven't quite processed it, I think.
Rutherford's epic journey started last August. She spent 260 hours in the air. It was supposed to take 3 months, but ended up stretching to 5 because of dangerous conditions, including desert haze in Saudi Arabia, wildfires over California, and bad weather in other spots.
Coming out to Frankfurt, there was lots of rain, lots of snow, so I had to wiggle in some valleys, and I had to wait a while as well to wait for the snow to clear.
The adventure covered about 30,000 miles and included stops on 5 continents.
Yeah, it worked out, clearly, because here I am.
Rutherford's parents, who are both pilots, began taking her in small planes when she was just a toddler, and by 14, she started flying herself.
We told her and her brother since they were born that they can do anything, that they're extraordinary and there are no limits.
She hopes her accomplishment inspires other young girls trying to succeed in aviation and other male-dominated jobs. She plans to soar to new heights herself and eventually become an astronaut. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Here's what we're working on tonight. President Biden marks 1 year in the Oval Office. So we talked to his chief of staff, Ron Klain, about the president's marathon press conference, including comments about Russian aggression in Ukraine and his signature economic agenda. That's all tonight here on the CBS Evening News.
CBS3 closed captioning brought to you by the Birth Center at Essentia Health. By your side every step of the maternity journey so you can rest easy knowing you're both in good hands.
At Ralph Eye Care Specialists, we help your family see well. We check your child's need for glasses, and we screen for problems which are best treated early in life. We test your parents for diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma. These often have no early symptoms, so regular eye exams are important. And we care for you, providing routine and emergency care for your lifetime. Call now to schedule an appointment at Ralph Eye Care Specialists.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure, I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today. Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northlands still to this day. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining.
Brought to you by Range Regional Airport. Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki every Tuesday at 10. Only on live local CBS3.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from Canal Park on this Thursday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and see what's coming up at 6.
Tonight at 5, we look deeper into just how accurate an at-home COVID test might be. Health leaders say if it shows positive, you're positive. If it shows negative, you might be in the clear. But if you were exposed, they recommend a PCR test after 5 days just to be sure.
And tonight at 6, the U.S. Supreme Court takes on cases that may challenge the future of Roe v. Wade. Wisconsin's governor is trying to get ahead of any potential changes. We'll tell you how at 6.
That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll be back here at 6.